Hello everyone, it is Erin Floto here, and we are moving from May into June. It is the end of the month. It is time to migrate from one month to the next. I have done a lot of prep work just because I don't have a ton of time to film anymore. So I've done a ton of prep work trying to make this as painless as possible. So I have a bunch of sticky notes here that have helped me in terms of my migration process. So I have gone through and done everything that I've done to date on here, and I've filled in what I can fill in. Technically, I haven't exercised yet, but if I don't do that today, I might go a little bit crazy. So I have marked it off so that I do it. So I have all of my habits filled in. I've gone through and I've kind of figured things out for what's going on with my dashboard. We have this migrating over, and then the dishwasher pod is going to be done tonight, so I will go ahead and mark that off. Other stuff I have not done. I did just do my mid-year goals. I still have to fix my website, and I did start designing a kit for next year. So that is the first part. That's just my calendar with my goals. Not much to add here. The workout log, like I said, hopefully I will finish this. And I don't know how I had 2 extra ones. I must have just counted 2 on accident, or maybe those weren't there. Can't really remember what happened, but I'm just going to color those in regular watermelon slices. And then I have my milestones for my son. So he grabbed his feet. He is sleeping on his stomach. He's in a high chair. He's eating solids. He's sitting in a chair. He's tried a bunch of foods. I have to add some more here. He grabbed his foot with his opposite hand, which is pretty cool. He started kneeling play. He's eating with a spoon. And like, he is like grabbing the spoon and trying to eat. And then he is sitting up on his own. So that's what we've got for the milestones. Just a quick flip through here. My cat is going crazy. I am sorry. So just a quick flip through of how this month has gone. Today is the 31st. This is parental leave that I am trying to figure out how many days we have left. And then I started sketching in for the review. So I'm going to leave you there. I'm going to work on this through voiceover, and then we will start the migration process over into June. So the first thing I'm going to be working on is my level 10 life. So this is something that I do every single month. It's a check-in for each area of my life. I have goals, fun, work, family, health, business, finances, environment. And then I've split my overall into 2 different categories. I have overall life and overall work, just because some work stuff is very stressful, and I didn't want that to affect my overall score, because my life isn't entirely work, and it brings down the score just tremendously. So I have overall life and overall work. For my overall life, I do goals, fun, family, health, and then environment. And then for overall work, I do work, business, and finances. And that's kind of how I split things up, just because finances is so dependent on work life, of course. And then overall life has to do with just like all that other stuff. So that's how I've split up my level 10 life, just because I think it makes more sense that way. So I have moved my work, what worked, what didn't, tweaks and changes to the other side, to the other page, just because it was feeling so much more cluttered with the review page on the right-hand side with my goals and habits. So that's kind of what I've done. I've mostly kept it to bullet journaling things, but I decided to only do 3, keep it short and simple this time. So I have a what worked, what didn't, and tweaks, 4 of them for my bullet journal, and then 1 of them for my work. Moving on, we are getting into the June side of the setup. I don't have to do anything for my workout log, but I do have to add in my goals and things to the calendar for June. So that is what I'm going through now. I am pretty annoyed because I mixed up a birthday in Juneteenth. I don't know how I did that since Juneteenth is June 19th. It makes perfect sense, but I don't know. My brain read those backwards for some reason. So I've added in my goals on this page. I want to exercise 20 days in June, do crawling exercises daily in June with my son. Bryson eats 1 solids meal per day, and then post 4 YouTube videos in June. Next up, we have my dashboard. So basically, I use the dashboard that I have from last month and the things that I have pretty standard on my dashboard, and I fill in on here. I do leave a bunch of space so that way I have room to add things on that aren't like my typical things. So we have my work tasks to the left, my home tasks in the middle, and then my business tasks to the right-hand side. And then something new that I'm doing this month is progress trackers. So I'm taking some of those items that are in the top and adding some progress trackers towards that. So each represents 25%, and I will fill those in as I go in the month. And those are just basically a bunch of the tasks from above that are maybe a little bit more complicated or have multiple steps. Okay, so that is the overview of May and then moving things into June. So in May, we have my dashboard complete. We have my habit tracker complete. This is June 1st, 2nd, whatever day it is. My calendar complete, my goals, my workout log complete, my milestones, and then we have my dailies and weeks here as well. I never went back in and finished this, but now I can't remember, so it is what it is. And then I finished filling out my level 10. I will do my monthly review by myself. I have my goals up here and then my habits down here. What worked, what didn't, and tweaks. So I kind of have talked about some of this in the whole beginning. And I've talked about some of this in like my goal setting video that I had last week. But overall, there are some things working and some things not in my whole planner system. And most of the things that aren't working are goals related, which is very frustrating for me. But the other thing that, like, I feel like I need to scratch an itch is moving away from a B5. And I literally just talked about this not too long ago that, like, oh, the B5 is kind of like the perfect size for me, blah, blah, blah. But part of me is, now it just feels like too much space. Like, and I think it's just because I'm not really getting in my bullet journal. Like, if you look at the beginning of the year, I was getting in my bullet journal so, like, routinely. And I mean, that was because my son slept a lot. So there's a lot of things that, like, I don't even put in my to-do list because I can't remember how things are going and, like, what I'm doing. And then, to be honest, a lot of things that I am doing are things that I can't put a task down for, right? It's like caring for my son. Sometimes I put his bath time, sometimes I put, like, cutting his nails, things like that. But, like, when I'm working on kneeling exercises, I don't put that in here necessarily. And maybe that's something that needs a change. I just need to put those things in here. But I'm also not getting in my bullet journal every day. There's usually, like, something for every day, but I'm usually filling it out either after the fact, the next day, or something. Like, getting in my bullet journal on a routine basis is getting really, really difficult. So now the B5 just feels too big, and part of me thinks that I should switch to an A5. And I think I'm going to pull the trigger and switch to an A5 in the second half of the year, which kind of stinks because I have a bullet journal that I really want to use and it's a B5, and I have been buying mostly B5 notebooks. So I don't know, but I think I'm going to pull the trigger, and if it doesn't work out, at least I'll know for sure, like, yes, maybe it's a lot of space in a B5, but maybe I just need to use it a different way. So I think I'm in the second half of the year, I am going to use an A5 notebook, which is fine. It's fine. So anyways, and then we are into June. So I obviously have started June already. We have my workout log, my calendar with my goals over here. I'm a little, like, this feels very, very cluttered, but it's not that big of a deal to me. And then this feels not as cluttered, which is kind of a big deal to me. I might come back in and like do something to make me feel a little bit better about the designs here. We have my dashboard. This is the new thing that I'm doing this month, is progress trackers. I used to do them a lot. I want to do them again. And so I've kind of aligned the progress trackers with things on my dashboard, but things that require multiple steps. My habit tracker is pretty much the same. And then I have gratitude log, highlights. I'm thinking that tying these together might be helpful for me. And then we have the milestones for my son's development. And then we move on to the dailies there. So that is my whole migration. I just talked about this in the goal setting video, the mid-year goals. I'm not going to go into my goals notebook anymore. And I haven't been, so I don't know why I'm saying anymore. But that's kind of what I was thinking is, oh, maybe at the end of this type of migration video, I'll also go do goal setting. But honestly, it's just not going to work out. I need to step away from my goals notebook a little bit and try to do more in-depth stuff in here. So we'll see what that looks like come July, because I already had everything set up and I only have like a little bit of space for my goals. I think probably my goal setting is going to implement like these progress trackers. That's what I used to do a long time ago, like back 2018 era, 2019 era. I used to do those progress trackers a lot. So anyways, that is what I've got for my migration video. I hope that this video was helpful for all of you who are migrating into June and are very excited about the month ahead. And I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.